Hello guys, we're going to continue this paper. So we have started paper 2 from the Information Technology course of November 2023. So paper 2 can be heavy on either databases or spreadsheets. This particular paper focuses on spreadsheets, and if you check out the first part of the video, we've already completed the spreadsheet section or the first part of the spreadsheet section, and we will now continue in the second part of the video. So let's go down to question 9. This is where we got up to. And in cell B17, enter a formula. So what we've done already is some validation on here. We've done some VLOOKUPs and some basic formulas here so far. So we're up to this point here, B17, and what do we need to do? Calculate the volume of the footing rounded up to the nearest 0.1 meter. The volume is going to be the width times the depth times the length. So these three values here multiply together. So let me just click on here, multiplied by this cell, multiplied by this cell. We can press enter to see the value. And then we need to do a round up. Round up. And by one value, we need to round it up by. So it's 1.4 cubic meters. Done. Question 10, place formula in cells F14 and 15 to copy the values from cells B14 and B15. So F14 and 15 are these two cells here. And we need to copy these values here. So it's going to be equals this. So whatever changes in here, or whatever appears in here, will also appear in here. And then equals this one here. Now, question 11, enter formula in cell F16. So I always like to see where F16 is this next cell, the length. Okay, to calculate the length of the rectangular footing in meters. So the length of the footing is going to be 2 times the length of the building plus the width of the building. So let me do that really quickly. So I'm going to do 2 times, in brackets, the length of the building plus the width of the building. Just close that bracket. And then if I go to here, minus 0.4. So we've got 13.6. Done. Okay. Right, the next thing that we need to do is we need to enter a formula in cell F17 to calculate the volume of the footing rounded up to the nearest 0.1 meter. So F17 is going to be this cell here. So what we need to do is, again, it's going to be similar to what we did in this cell here. These values will be multiplied and then rounded up by 1. So do you know what we can do? We can just copy this one, Control C, and place it here. So it's multiplying them and then rounding up by 1. Okay, done. Okay, question 13. Enter formulas in cells B18 and F18. So B18 and F18 is the concrete cost. To calculate the cost of concrete, rounded and displayed to the nearest dollar. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to take this value here and then multiply it by this value here per cubic meter. So this is concrete cost per cubic meter, and this is how many cubic meters we're going to be using. Okay, you can see cubic meters there. So equals this, or you can just go like, click on here first, this cell here, times the value given in the exam paper. Okay. And what we then need to do is we need to round it to the nearest dollar. So if I click on here, round, and then comma, and then I'm going to put 0, close the bracket, done. So we've got 174. And F18, we're doing the same thing. So I'm just going to copy this and place that here. So it's multiplying. F17 is being multiplied by this value here, and then rounded to 0, to the nearest dollar. Okay, done. Edit the formula place in steps steps 5 to 13. Let me just see where 5 starts from. 5 starts from B14. Okay, I'm just going to color it in for now, and I'll get rid of these colors later. B14 to B18, and I think including F. B18, yeah, it's going to be these ones here, and probably so enter formula cells B18, no, and edit the formula place in steps 5 to 13. So it would be this one. It's basically all the formulas that we've done, haven't we? Yeah. To 13, so that if the soil is not suitable for strip foundations, appropriate messages are displayed in these cells. Okay, so we need to do it for all of these actually. So what we're going to do is use if error. So how the if error works is, let me just show you an example here. So 2 plus 2. So this should work, equals if error. The value is going to be 2 plus 2. I'll do it up here. So that should output value should give me 4. But if there's an error, we can just display a specific error message. In this case, I'm just going to write error message. This should give me the value 4 because there should be no error. But if I try adding 2 plus x, it's displaying the error message instead. So that's how the if error is going to work. Okay, so if we change some of these values around and there's an error produced, what we need to say is soil is not suitable for strip foundations. So let's start with this one here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out and type in if error. Copy so the values, it's not going to be 2 plus 2, it's going to be what was there before. And if that's not working, we should copy this in. And I think we have to do that for all of them. Okay, so let's cut this out first. If error. And let me copy this in. Close the bracket. Enter. Length. Let's cut this out. If error. So if there's an error, we want to show this message. So it's quite long, but let's get this done. Put the speech marks in. Let me just see if I can do it like this. If error. So this is value, and then right, you can see it's going to be long, but we're just going to do it as quick as we can. If error. Done. You can maybe skip that part. There's only 4 marks there, but it's quite a lot of things which we had to do. So we've got the appropriate message. So if there's an error, so we will display that soil is not suitable for strip foundations instead. Now I've done that, let me just change the fill to no fill. 14, okay. Question 15. Place formula in your spreadsheet so when the letter Y is placed in cell, okay, B3, the contents in cell range E8 to G18 are not visible. And the contents. So when a letter Y is placed in cell B3 and B4, so let's start with B3 first of all. So E8 to G18, where's E8? E8 to G18 is basically all of this. The contents of cells in the range are not visible. So what we're going to do is, if this is Y, then this should not be visible. So it's going to be conditional formatting. New rule is a formula. So equals, if B3 is equals to Y, then let's do the format. So the format, white for the text, and the fill also white. So if I change that to just a blank cell, it's appeared, and if I change that to Y, it's disappeared. So I think that's what we need to do. So in B4 as well, A8 to C18. So A8 to C18, A8 to C. Okay, I think I made a mistake. So it's going to be E8 to G18, E8 to. It had to be all of these cells. Well, let me made a mistake there. So let me just go to clear rules from entire sheet or selected cells. So my mistake is going to be from E8 all the way down to G18. Let's do that again. New rule. Use a formula to determine which cells to format. So equals B3. So B3 equals Y. Then let's go to format, no fill, and the font all white. It's not working. Let me try that again. Okay. New rule. Use a formula. Okay, equals. Okay, and I think what we need to do is lock this. So it wasn't locked the first time, so now it's locked. So this is equals to Y. So you can see it's absolute cell reference now. I think that was missing before. Fill, do white for the background and white also for the text. And press OK, and it's gone. Yes. So if I change that to no or something blank, it's appeared. And we also need to do the same thing for B4. So B4, the contents of cells from A8 to C18. So A8 to C18, so it's going to be C18. So let's do that. So conditional formatting, new rules, use a formula, equals, let's click on the cell here. So I think it's better to click on a cell because you get absolute cell referencing rather than typing it in. It's this, it's equal to Y. Then again, we can do the same formatting. Fill and font. So if I type in here Y, you can see it's all gone. Delete that. If I put in here Y, you can see that's all gone. And let's delete that. Okay, so I think that was quite tricky. I made a slight mistake the first time, but got there in the end. Okay, now what we need to do, so, and that was 8 marks, there's a lot of marks there. Now we need to save this, QSA1 followed by a center number, candidate number. And the next part will be testing the spreadsheets. Okay, so let me just save this really quickly. So I'm just going to take this, file, save as. It's basically the same as that, but I've just got 1 at the end. So I'm just going to put 1 here and press save. Okay, let's see the rest of it. So we've done that now. Test your spreadsheet, question 16, with the following test data. Saved each test as a spreadsheet with the given file name followed by a center number, candidate number. So every time we test, we're going to just change the value. So it's going to be 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm not going to do all of them. I might do the first one. So freestanding wall, 12 meters long. So it's going to be freestanding wall. Length of wall. So built on gravel in a climate that's never frosty. So let me just do that really quickly. So gravel, never frosty, and 12. And that's the values for that. And then you should save this. Okay, I'm just going to try with the others. Let's try the last one. So 4 meters long and 3 meters wide. Built on granite in a climate that is sometimes frosty. So let me just try doing some of these other values. Actually, do you know what? Let me do the next one. So we did that one. You should save it. This one here, a building 4 meters long and 3 meters wide. Let me just get rid of that one there. Okay, so it's going to be a building this time. So let me just type in here Y. So it's going to be a building. So we've done the first part. 4 meters long, 3 meters wide. So let's put in these values here. So 4 and 3. Built on soft chalk. So let me find soft chalk. There we go, chalk soft. And the climate is going to be never frosty. Yep, so that's that one done. And you can see we are now seeing some of the error messages. Okay, right. I'm not going to do the rest of the testing. I'll leave that up for you guys to have a look at. Hopefully this video has been useful. And you saw even myself made some slight mistakes with the formatting initially, but then obviously we got there at the end. So you just got to think about the problem and try and find a solution. Thank you guys. Have a good day. Bye-bye.